Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind ya. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind ya. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome in the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard. I am Mike Ackelson along with Anthony Hartwig. It is great to be back. This is my week one. It's your week three. And boy, week three did not disappoint.
No, it did not. We had a triple overtime game. It almost went into quadruple overtime. That wasn't the only overtime game of the day either. And we had a game-winning field goal with the last seconds remaining. So, I mean, I don't think you can ask for anything else.
No, and it was perfect. I mean, we had some games that became lopsided. That always happens. But the games that counted, man, they were good, just as we expected. And I think the one school that you got to talk about is Liberty. 3 games, and they've only given up one score, and it was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they were up by 3. I mean, I'm not saying that they definitely wanted to stop them. And JFK, great drive to get the touchdown, give themselves a fighting chance. But it's a little bit different than a close game where that score really would have made a difference in the result. It didn't make a difference in the result.
Just the new attitude, though, at Liberty. The Leopards, man, 11 quarters before you give up points. We were watching it, and they did not want to give up that score. And, I mean, they were clawing, and just hats off to them. What a turnaround through the first 3 weeks of this season.
We'll get to the scoreboard in a bit, but we have Greg McAfee, our brand new guru for everything football in the background. We're going to bring him on. Greg, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey,
good. How are you?
We're good. We got to see some good football. You got to see a pretty good Liberty team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I heard you guys just talking about them while I was in the background there. But I mean, off to a 3-0 start. They've only given up 8 points through 3 games, and while they're doing that, they're scoring at, I believe, 97 points. They've outscored their opponents 97-8 through the first 3 games. And it's really it's a credit to Don Prologa and what he's been able to instill there at Liberty. I mean, the culture has completely changed. We talk a lot about DeJuan Moody and Dion Tutwiler, and they're both great backs. They both carry the ball well. Tutwiler's a big bruiser. He's gained a lot of weight. He's got a lot of strength. He's really able to attack between the tackles, and then Moody's just an athlete that they can throw everywhere. I mean, you saw him everywhere tonight. He was lined up at receiver. He lined up at quarterback. He lined up in the backfield. But I think what really has gone kind of unnoticed through the first 3 weeks is this defense. I mean, the front seven is strong. They're athletic. They're big. They really rally to the ball really well. They got a couple of dogs, as DJ likes to say, across the front seven, across the defensive line, and they got a bunch of athletes in the backfield. They had a pick early on, early interception early on tonight that set up their first touchdown score. And I mean, they have talent and athletes everywhere along the field, and Don Prologo's really got he's got a team over there in Liberty for sure.
I think the one big thing, and I know Dom had to have this game circled because playing his former team, they had a couple shots at state titles and it didn't work out for them, but you know that he wanted this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, I don't like to plug other media outlets or anything like that, but I used to work for our local newspaper, and I have some friends over at the newspaper, so I like to read the stories every once in a while. And I got to give a shout out to my buddy Neil Madhavan. He wrote a pretty good story today, and there's a quote in there towards the end of the story where Don Prologo shared what his kids have been saying all week, and that was the disrespect will be handled. It will be addressed Friday night on our home field. Liberty was the road team tonight, but they were playing on their home field, and the motivation was there. You could tell. So yeah, it was a good battle for sure, and Don Prologo got a little bit of revenge tonight.
All right, we need some hard-hitting journalism because we were asking this all night, and we know you're the guy to do it. Liberty was the away team. There were their away uniforms.
Yep.
What locker room did they use? Were they using their home Liberty locker room?
Yeah, they came out of the blockhouse down there.
Okay.
I believe that's what they call it.
That's where we draw the line.
They came. It was business as usual. Liberty staff running the press box, running the scoreboard, all that stuff. Liberty just wearing the white jerseys at home. But the JFK came out of the visiting locker room, which I think they normally do when they play there on the home field. I believe that they always come out of one of the locker rooms they have inside the school by the gym. So business as usual at Liberty tonight, and the Leopards were running. They were running tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was just impressive to see, and that defense, they're only going to get better. And as you said, he's plugging some guys right now, but when he finds that perfect fit, boy, it's going to make them even more dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, they have, I mean, like I was kind of saying earlier, they have guys all over the place. I mean, Josiah Hill was in the backfield consistently tonight. I think one guy that's kind of flown under the radar so far is Richie Sly. He's a linebacker for Liberty. He was all over the place tonight. He was in the backfield crushing through the line of scrimmage to make tackles in the backfield. And they just have guys all over the place. I mean, and then you have the athletes on the back end and the secondary really locking down receivers. When JFK found success tonight, it wasn't on the ground, it was through the air. They were able to find LaMarcus Provitt kind of all over the place. They got some JFK has some athletes as well, but this defense, I mean, when you think of a Dom Prologo team, just kind of throughout his coaching career, when he has stops at Canfield and we have stops at JFK, the defense has always been kind of his calling card. I mean, that's his strength. That's what he calls, and they play a motivated style of football on that side of the ball. And when I was at the local newspaper, when he was at JFK, you could tell kind of what their identity was. They had athletes all over the field. They were a good offensive team, but they shut down teams on the defensive side of the ball. And you see the same exact kind of philosophy at Liberty. I mean, this was the first time I have seen them play this year. And I felt like I was watching JFK's team, 2-3 years ago, because they just swarmed to the ball. They're all over the place. And, they're not really going to let up much. And like you guys were talking about earlier, that touchdown that they did let up came with, I believe, under 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was the first drive Provitt had led as the quarterback, I believe. He might have played under center a little bit earlier in the game as well. But they didn't want to give anything up. Prologo called the timeout probably 2 plays before JFK scored to try to get his guys lined up, make sure the correct play call was in, make sure they were lined up correctly. And I mean, obviously JFK was able to put it in the end zone, but they're a motivated defense for sure. And I am completely jealous of whoever gets to call Crestview Liberty next week, because that is going to be a game. Like you have a strong offense in Crestview against a solid defense in Liberty, and that's going to be a fun one to watch.
Maybe we can twist the boss's arm for you.
Yeah, I mean, put in the good work for me. I mean, I already got my assignment for next week, but I'm willing to jump around if I can see that one for sure.
Like us, you're willing to make an audible call.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
You gotta find
Nice
something
plug.
the other announcer wants you can trade for. Be like,
Yeah.
I'll get some free donuts on Saturday morning.
Something like that.
We're talking about Liberty's defense. Last couple of years, actually, with the same players, this Liberty team was a high-flying offense, but their problem was other teams would score with them.
Yeah.
This year, it's kind of flipped, where they're not scoring as much as maybe they used to, but the defense is so locked down. But with the same athletes, it's the same group of guys. What do you think has changed? It's not the personnel. So what is it that has changed in this style of football?
I mean, I would say I would say they're still a high scoring offense. I mean, they only scored 21 points tonight, but I believe they came into tonight, I think outscoring their opponents like 56 to nothing or something along those lines. Like they've lit up the scoreboard this year, and that offense is dangerous. I mean, Tyson Watson's a solid quarterback. They got obviously Deion Tutwiler and Dewan Moody in the backfield, and they have a couple receivers on the outside that can catch the ball. But as far as the defense goes, I mean, I think it really goes back to the coaching. I mean, like I was kind of saying, like defense is Don Prologo's calling card. Like he's gonna have players ready to go. He's gonna have guys rallying to the football. He's gonna have guys energized, motivated. They're gonna have a little bit of an edge. They're gonna have a little bit of a nastiness to them, and they're gonna be ready to go week in and week out. I mean, like I was kind of saying, you saw the same thing with those Warren JFK teams that made runs to the state semifinals and the state championship games and everything like that for 3-4 years straight. And you see the same type of philosophy, same type of identity, and these guys are just motivated. There was when he took over, he knew he had to instill a new type of culture at Liberty, and I believe he called it type of a kind of a culture shock in a way. He had to get the right guys inside the program. I believe when he took over in January, when they went through their summer workouts and everything, he had around 49 kids in the program, and they're down to, I believe, 34, 31, somewhere in the low 30s. And he has the right guys in the program who are motivated, ready to play a physical, fast style of football. And you really see that come out on the defensive side of the ball.
So let's flip the script here. We know what Liberty has brought.
Yeah.
Where does JFK go from here, being winless after 3 weeks?
So obviously they lost a pretty big senior class. And that happens in high school football year in and year out. You're going to lose senior classes that bring a lot of culture, they bring a lot of leadership and things like that. And when you do that, you have seasons like they did last year. They went 10-3 a year after going 2-7, which I think was their worst season since 2014. So you're going to have turnover like that in high school football. But they're 0-3, but they've been in their past 2 games. I mean, they really put up a fight against Garfield. I think they got away from them a little bit in the second half, and they were in the game tonight. I mean, at halftime, this was a 7-0 game, and the Liberty running game really just got going in the second half, specifically in the third quarter. JFK was able to lock down defensively, and they have a pretty solid defense over there. I believe you saw it throughout the game tonight, and they really showed flashes of what type of football team that they could be. And like I was saying earlier, they have athletes kind of all over the field. LaMarcus Provett, they scored on I believe he played about 2 drives as quarterback tonight. They kind of move him all over the field. He's kind of like Dewan Moody in a way. He's their best athlete. He can catch the ball. He can run it. And the drive they scored on in the fourth quarter, he was under center. He ran the ball a couple times, completed a pass or 2 maybe, and he was able to find a receiver for that score after getting into the red zone. And so I think the pieces are there. I think they just got to sharpen up. They made a couple of mistakes tonight that really kind of hurt them in a big way. LaMarcus Provett had a huge run on like a 2nd and 17 or something, and he picked up 18 yards, and there's a flag on the play, a personal foul after the whistle. And so that knocked them back. So that's just the type of stuff that they got to clean up a little bit. A couple errant passes here and there. So the pieces are there for JFK. I mean, they're 0-3, but they faced a really strong Liberty team, and they faced a really strong Garfield team, and they just got to sharpen up a few things and move forward. I think Buente will have these guys ready for sure come next week.
Greg, we know you have a really busy week ahead with some highlights being made, some feature stories being made, of course. We want to thank you for taking your time tonight after your game, and we will see you again next week, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. And, put in a good word for me with DJ, because that Liberty Crestview game next week, I mean, I'm jealous.
We'll see what we can do for you.
All right.
Greg McAfee, let's go.
Yeah.
We'll be able to see him on YSN Live on Monday for Overreaction Mondays with DJ and myself. And now we go to a guy that had that Crestview team. And we're going to talk about that side of that game next week. And Derek Rhodes joining us after his Crestview versus United game.
Good evening,
Welcome in there.
Mike. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back.
Glad to be back. Feels good. I was a little shocked. I thought we would have a ball game here, and boy, Crestview immediately stomped out any hopes of that.
My rant tonight is not an indictment on United. My goodness gracious, that Crestview football team is something special. I'm flabbergasted. Their front four gave the United offense all kinds of trouble. And Jake Noling, he is the real deal. Big Dog of the Week nominee, was involved in all 5 touchdowns. Now, you guys can help me out here. From what I saw, he got in the end zone the first 2 weeks with his legs. This week, he was throwing the ball all over the field, and he looks the part, guys. He is strong in the pocket, stands back there, reads the defense, goes through his progressions. He was impressive. That is a very, very good football team.
Yeah, and Crestview is a team that, is trying to become that next monster in the MVAC that's been kind of owned by Garfield the last several years, and now here comes Crestview. Liberty also putting their name on that.
Yeah.
As we talk about what makes this Crestview team so good, you talked in earlier weeks about the size of United, and you kind of scared us with the size of United. Didn't bother Crestview that much.
No, and so that's what I was sort of looking at ahead. Their roster doesn't jump out as a bunch of monsters, big guys. But boy, the toughness. They got a lot of toughness. Got a couple guys that are over 6 foot, a couple guys over 200 pounds, but they're just strong. And yeah, that's the first time in a long time I've seen a DJ Ogilvy offense. And I don't have the stats, but I would go out on a limb here. I don't think they had positive yardage through the first 3 quarters. I think they got positive yardage finally in the 4th quarter when it was garbage time. But I don't think they were positive on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
I know we talk a lot about that Crestview offense and how good it was, but
Yeah.
how about that defense?
It was unbelievable. They had Thomas Brown scrambling all over the place. Everything was off time. Like I said, their interior 4 shot gaps tonight and were, first 2 steps faster than any team I've ever seen. It created all kinds of havoc on that spread offense, which, relies on a lot of timing. The timing was totally off tonight.
When you think about where these two teams can go, obviously Crestview trajectory pointing way up, but United is not a team that's going to let this kind of loss define them. Everything's in front of them. All their goals are still in front of them. So what do you think the trajectory of especially United is coming off a loss like this?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe everybody now in the EOAC has a loss after tonight.
Mike, can you confirm?
I believe they do.
Yeah. Palestine was in a dogfight. They were down 7. And Latonia, they got handled pretty good, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, Latonia actually jumped out early, and then Strasburg scored the last 47.
Wow. Wow.
Just putting it nicely, So
East Palestine won.
Palestine's still undefeated.
So
Did they really?
East
Okay, they were
Palestine
down
won
20. 21-14 when I was scoreboard surfing earlier.
Yeah, they got a touchdown 1 for 2, and then added one late. And we were flipping because we had games going to overtime.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they missed the extra point or missed a 2-point conversion.
Okay.
But
28-21 was the final score.
Yeah. So, but Palestine did get the win. Latonia went down. I know Lisbon picked up a win tonight.
Yeah.
Columbiana beat Western Reserve.
They won, yeah. So what I did see at the end, and yes, we had reserves on the field and this, that, and the other. United didn't roll over and just pack it in and say, let's go home. They did go down the field and score in the 4th quarter. That was with some reserves. I think this, with anything, it's just a learning experience for them. I think it's one of those win or losses that you take in week 3 and you remember how bad it hurts and you move forward because it's conference play time.
Well, it's a DJ Ogilvy team first and foremost.
Yeah.
They are definitely going to learn from this. I would hate to be a Golden Eagle sitting in on that film session tomorrow because
Exactly.
it's not going to be pretty. And I think the one thing that I've always appreciated out of DJ is it's just brutal honesty.
Yes.
He's going to tell you flat out how it is, how you should have played, what you should have done instead of this. He doesn't sugarcoat it. And I think that's what makes him a very good players coach, because people respect that.
Yes.
And I think what I'm looking forward to now, flip the page for Crestview. Boy, they got a big one next week.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. I'm hearing you
Liberty.
guys talk about it. And yeah, I'll throw my hat in the ring too. I'll do color for somebody if you want to send me over there.
Game.
You know what? I'm going to throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah.
We're
Let's
gonna have
send
to
like
have
6 guys. We'll have sideline reporters. Let's do it all.
I will gladly go down on the field. I love that. Yeah. I don't have to be my player or the color analyst. Put me down on the field. Heck,
Yeah.
I go on one side. We have another guy on the other side. We have 2 guys upstairs, pregame, postgame, everything.
Yes.
We'll light it.
Yeah.
Thursday you might have to have like a YSN wrestling match to decide who's
DJ would love that.
Round robin, old school boxing match or something.
Yeah.
No. What was that when they used to put 20 men in the ring? Survival? Or
Yeah, there you go. Right.
last man gets to call the game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I've got to see a couple different teams this year. And in my humble opinion, by far, Crestview's the best I've seen. That Jake Noling is something special. He is a quarterback. He can do it all. And like I said, I don't think he had a throwing touchdown, a passing touchdown first 2 weeks. He got 3 tonight. So, yeah, just another wrinkle with that team. Yeah, whoever's got that game next week, man, it is going to be a good one.
Derek, we want to thank you for your time. You're always going to have good games. You're always going to be coming on and talking to us about it. So we thank you. And we'll see you back here next week, no matter where you end up.
I appreciate you guys. Have a great evening. Good seeing you, Mike. Take care.
All right. We'll see you next week, probably.
Yes, sir.
Notice you said probably, because you might be calling that Crestview game.
Yeah.
You might have your hat in the ring of that.
Yeah. I will gladly. No, I love being here because I get to see all the games.
Right.
But if DJ called me in the middle of the week and said, I need you to go to Crestview, I'd be like, okay.
Anthony,
Done.
you got the audible call. You're good.
Yeah.
Good to go. You've done it for the first 2 weeks. You can do it for one more.
Yeah. Mike was slacking.
Hey, we just said it was a long drive from Butler. You had a lot of circles.
I got lost.
Just in the nick of time before we get too far off the rails. Ty Bartel coming in, and boy, did he have a game. Hoban, one of the best teams in the state, obviously, highly ranked, playing King from Michigan, and it went down to the wire. Ty comes in from us. He's back home from that trip to Akron. Ty, how are we doing tonight? That was a great game you got to call.
Yeah, doing real good too. Welcome back to Mike, my good friend. Great to see you back on Audible Call where you belong. And it was the best of a couple of states best going at it, and of course it's an Ohio team and a Michigan team duking it out, and it comes down to the final wire, right?
I'll tell you what, I was impressed. We kept flipping back to that game, and early on, Michigan, Hoban gives up that touchdown, and boy, did they answer quick. And I keep thinking, a couple of years ago, there was a lot of freshmen and sophomores on that team that got to play. Now they're the vets, and I'm sure you're having fun getting to see these guys, as young men.
Oh, absolutely too. And you could see the growth of a lot of these guys too. You remember guys like Albert Hill too. They call him Rock Hill over there. Mike, you remember from that state championship runner-up team from a couple years ago too. He's now one of the seniors and a USC 4-star commit. But it was Peyton Cook too on both sides of the ball today too. The Louisville commit, Peyton Cook, is this young man too. 2 touchdowns in coverage. He was able to pull them down. That first one was the one that ultimately tied the game for the Knights. And for Hoban too tonight, it was one of those cases though where they were able to score quickly out of the gates, but then they had a lot of situations where they had the short field and they just weren't able to capitalize. Big credit though to King's defense too, because those Crusader boys, man, they came out ready to play too, and it didn't matter what kind of punches you were throwing at them, they were ready to throw some back.
Well, when they took the lead late, the one thing I noticed, and I remember it back from a couple of years ago when we were on that run with them, that sideline on Hoban didn't look worried at all. And they took advantage as soon as they got the ball back with limited time left.
And that was the one thing I kept on harping on too, is how much time you're going to leave Coach Tyrrell and this Knights team too, because they've been down that road before. Maybe not these boys in particular, but a lot of these guys have experience being in those close game situations when it comes down to the wire and you need to make a play and you need your guys to make plays. They need to step up and do it. I think their senior transfer quarterback Nick Kinsey had a great game today down the stretch too, and Coach Tyrrell was talking a little bit about that too, and just how he grew a lot during this game from the first half where he made an interception, had an issue too where he had an illegal forward pass too on one he probably should have kept and run. But he highlighted too on that Jeremy Hamill kick, it was really Nick Kinsey's run that set up that whole thing too, because it was 3rd and 15. He was able to make it about 4th and 6, really get it to that 35-yard field goal, get it into Hamill's range, and kind of set that up. And it's not something that's not going to get talked about a lot, but that breakaway and that keeper by Kinsey tonight really is what helped set up that win.
Ty, when we're talking Hoban football, it's just a different level. I mean, we were talking USC commit, Louisville commit, Ohio State commit, and Mr. Greer. I think Feaster was going to eventually have a D1 Power 5 commit to his name at some point. A little young right now.
Yeah.
He'll get that. He'll get that down. What's it like watching these guys work? I mean, it's just a different level of football.
It is a different level of football, and it's fun for me to kind of see and be able to experience a little bit of these young men's journeys too, because they're going to have football ahead of them too, and just being able to witness at the high school level the kind of the talent level you need to have, but also the work ethic and just the mentality that you need to have to be that great and be able to play the kind of competition that Hoban plays too. It's not like these are pushover teams. That team was the number 2 ranked team in all of Michigan that they brought in. So it's not like these are pushover, humdinger games that the Knights play. So you got to come ready to play on that gridiron. And for these guys too, it's fun. It's always fun to watch them play too. But I think it is just a privilege to be able to see the kind of talent you need, the kind of level of just focus, the work ethic, all of that goes into being able to be good at this level, be great at this level, and compete with who they competed with. I mean, and you talk about quarterbacks too. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see Andrew Knight for that King team too. Andrew Knight said, I belong at this round table to the Hoban Knights, man, because my goodness, you had a 3rd and 25, a 3rd and 27, and a 3rd and 36. He converted all of them. He's an Illinois State commit, and you can see why he's going to be playing at the next level. He was phenomenal to watch tonight.
Oh, it was just a battle of 2 powerhouses. It's almost a shame anybody has to lose a game like that, because you just watched them, and literally for 48 minutes, they just knocked the tar out of each other.
They absolutely did. And it was fun because I'm a defensive guy, so I always liked the gritty offense that you need to try to just scratch across any kind of points against one another. And that's what both teams brought to the table. And it was never a guarantee once you crossed that 50 that you were going to score. And more times than not tonight, you didn't. And penalties played a part in that. Both these teams kind of shot each other in the foot a couple times too, themselves in the foot, I should say, on the offensive side. But defense rose to the occasion time in and time out on both teams, both the Knights and the Crusaders. And that's my favorite kind of game to watch too, where it's a chess match to figure out, oh man, how do we score against what they're putting in front of us right now?
All right, what's next for Hoban, and what are some things that are still on the horizon? This team seems like they're bringing in a top level performer every single week.
I think just for the Knights, Coach Tyrrell was he always talks about just stacking small wins. And this is a big win too, after dropping one to Archbishop Spalding, a nationally ranked team. They went to Maryland last week and took one on the chin. The score doesn't completely tell the story too, but he talked about how they weren't playing a whole lot of Hoban football last week, and he saw a lot more of this tonight too. He wasn't obviously happy with the opportunities that they missed, but he always says too, and you know this as well as I do, Mike, the wins in Hoban, they aren't always pretty too, but they play that hard-nosed, gritty style of football too, and they know if they play that, hang their hats on some good defense, they can be in a lot of games too, and that was a case of it tonight. And if they continue to play that Hoban style football, once that weather gets a little bit colder, once the muscles start moving a little bit slower, you're going to see that type of defense and Hoban type of football start to prevail, I think, a lot more in the Novembers and the Decembers.
Only one opportunity mattered, Ty, and that was the field goal kick to win the game. That's the only opportunity that really matters at the end of the day.
Well, here's what's funny. I was looking at their schedule while you were talking, Ty. the rest of their games are at home. They only had one road game this year, 9 home games. What
When you
school
get
gets
to
that?
How they
Yeah.
pull that off?
Yeah,
You know,
when you get to pull that off, it's always a nice time too. And the Knights crowd is always rocking. The bleachers were shaking, and they're always a fun community to be in front of. And yeah, Anthony, to just comment, Jeremy Hamill too. Give the hats off to him. That's a big moment to come in and make a kick like that too. And I talked with him after the game. You'll catch that interview on the story on YSN as well too. But yeah, he talked about that moment too and how he was able to kind of keep himself calm. They tried to ice him and it didn't work. And yeah, hats off to him because that's a big moment. And there's a lot of nerves that are going through those veins and in the stomach too. I don't care who you are or what situation, you're feeling those nerves, you're feeling that anxiety a bit too. So for him to fight it off, for him to kind of gut it out and put that kick through and put his team on top, hats off to him too. What a great kick.
that's an instant Big Dogs nominee.
I think so.
I think so as well too. We breaking that news right here on Audible
We'll
Call.
break it right now. Yeah,
we
doing
got a big dog nominee too, a night on the nominee. But hey, guys, I mean, it was a great night of football. I was checking out some of the scores, a lot of close ones tonight, and hey, we couldn't have asked for a better week 3. I don't think.
Yeah, perfect week.
Ty, it's always great when you come on. We thank you for your time, and we wish you the best of luck in the week ahead, calling a bunch of volleyball games, and then football next week. We'll see you back at the Scoreboard Show for week 4.
Always, guys. Have a good night, guys.
All right.
Ty Bartell, Hoban, he's always on those Hoban games, and they couldn't ask for a better voice.
Now
We'll go from him to someone that's been waiting in the background for a while. Vince Stady, he had a pretty good game in his own right. Vince, buddy, welcome to the Scoreboard Show. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Let's talk about this game first. Tell everyone that doesn't know that's watching where you were at and what your takeaways from your game were.
Well, I was at the first ever meeting between Cardinal Mooney and Canfield, and Canfield came away with a 24-14 victory in what was a really, really hard-fought physical game. Couple breaks fell Canfield's way, and they took advantage of it, and that was the difference in the game.
Well, I think the big thing I was impressed with was Canfield's defense. I know every game I've talked about, the defense has set the tone, but boy, did they make some big plays at crucial times.
They really did. Unfortunately, they really didn't do hold Ike Lake too well, but other than that, they had everything else taken care of, and that is a defense that flies around and makes big hits and makes big plays, and they don't miss tackles. There's a lot of wrestlers and a lot of physical kids on that defense, and they really get to where they need to be and understand the concept of how they want to play football, and they also they believe in their system very well, and they're able to play very comfortably within it.
All right, when we talk about this Canfield team, I think this was a game that everyone was looking at to kind of say, like, is Canfield the real deal? Can they go and beat a Mooney team? They answer the call. Talk about what it means for the program, you think, to get a win like this. Like you said, first time they've ever played Mooney. And that mystique that Mooney has in the area, no matter what their record is, I mean, they have a really good record this year, but no matter what they look like, it's always Mooney. It's this kind of shady creature that you have to be able to beat. So talk about what you think this does for Canfield's aura and their confidence going forward.
Well, I believe that Canfield can play with anybody that they're going to line up against. And they have that game that analysts always say that travels well. They can play this kind of game anywhere. And they do an amazing job like Liberty has, and like Cardinal Mooney has done too this year as well. They mix up their run plays so beautifully. They can run one play, you'll see them run a jet sweep. The next play, you'll see run like a little outside zone or some quarterback zone read. Or they even have this wonderful one back counter that they pull guards and tackles, and they run a guy back from the shotgun. And they can do it all effectively from anywhere on the field, and they do it with great physicality. So I have a feeling that no matter who they play down the stretch, as the weather gets colder, especially in the playoff time, that they're going to be able to play with anybody. And this is a serious football team, I'll tell you that, because Cardinal Mooney is obviously no joke either. And like you said, they bring that aura with them no matter where they go, no matter what state the program is in, because although Canfield kind of had the game in hand at many times, but you can feel that breath being held, that no matter what time, as you called it, that Mooney mystique can kind of pop up and they get a fumble return for a touchdown or something that could happen to break that game. So you're right. They had to hold their breath and play to the last minute of the game against Cardinal Mooney, and they did it.
I think it was a very impressive game on both sides. I don't want to downplay, I think Canfield just made the right plays at the right time where Mooney is going to look at this game film tomorrow and be like, ooh, we should have done this on this play and maybe a better result would have happened. That's how close it was. But when you look at Canfield's schedule, you come out, you beat West Branch, great game. You beat Walnut Ridge, now Mooney. Now let's look ahead. And they did not look ahead tonight because next week is the Battle of 224.
Yeah, and that's a game that Canfield should be favored to win, or it will be picked by a lot of people, but you just throw everything out the window when that game comes to town for sure. And Poland brings a lot of physicality as well, so they better heal fast from a physical game against Cardinal Mooney because, like you said, Poland poses a threat to anybody as well.
Well, and you can't ask for more. Both teams come into this undefeated. And like you said, throw out the records because it doesn't matter. We could have a monsoon next week and it'll still be a great game.
Right.
But and when they're done with that, if you look at their upcoming schedule, they have Cheney, then they play Hickory, and Hermitage is actually off to a really good start. I know they won tonight. They're 4-0. So they have the potential of playing two undefeated teams over the next 3 weeks. There is no chance for Joe to even do anything but just solely look one game at a time. If not, they're going to be in trouble real quick.
True, but there's a feeling there that Coach Ignazio has built, and this team plays with purpose, with great purpose. They're sure of every time they break the huddle, you can tell they know exactly what they want to do, and that's something that high school teams rarely achieve. And you can just you have great confidence when you watch them play that no matter what happens, they're going to execute. And if they're not successful, it's because the other team just beat them to the punch.
All right, so when we talk about Mooney and what they have ahead, obviously Mooney's always going to have a tough schedule as well. How do you think Mooney can bounce back from this loss?
Well, they're going to have to heal fast. I know they were banged up a little bit. Then they had like 4 or 5 starters that weren't in the game, and a couple of bumps and bruises were produced in this game. So they got to go down to Steubenville next week, and so that means you better get ready fast for sure. So what they're going to have to do is what Coach Colapre was telling me after the game. They got to make sure they did the things that made them win 2 games against 2 great historic programs. Was they didn't miss tackles. They played sound fundamental football in all aspects of the game. So Coach Colapre said they're going to have to get back to that in order to get on the right track and get another victory.
Interesting comment here. Mr. Nash says, we love being the underdog. He commented this about 10 minutes ago. So I'm assuming he's talking about Canfield because that's what we're on. Do you think Canfield, even though the record was there because of what Mooney is, do you think they felt a little bit like they were the underdogs coming into tonight?
I'm not sure about that. I couldn't comment. No, they didn't play like that because
play like that.
Yeah, Joey Panunzio and Enzo Coca and a couple other players that they have really stepped up the opportunity. In fact, they rose to the occasion, and both teams did. There was a feel at that game tonight that you don't really see that often nowadays. It was the stands were packed on both sides. Everybody was in it. There was a buzz. First time these two schools ever played each other in football, and Canfield rose to the occasion, and they got the breaks and were able to take advantage of them. So I wouldn't think that. I think they were ready to roll tonight.
You kind of feel like it was a playoff atmosphere because that's what I got from it.
Well, no question about it. There was a buzz. I got there about 5:30, and the stands were already filling up. The parking lot was packed. There was tailgates. Mooney's side was packed. Canfield's side was obviously packed at their home ballpark. But I talked to also athletic director Bob Beam after the game too. He said, win or lose by either team, this is just high school football. It's great. It's great for the area. It's great for both programs, and it was great to be a part of such a historic game for this valley.
Vince, we want to congratulate you on a great call. We were able to listen to it for a while here on the Audible call. We want to wish you the best of luck in the week ahead. We know you have some work to do, and we will see you back here for week 4 of football in the Valley.
Appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right, Vince Tatey calling that Canfield and Mooney game. What a great game it was. We have someone in studio that I'm going to go get that came off of not 1 overtime, not 2 overtimes, 3 overtimes, and he still has some room to talk to us, right?
That's good. I'm glad he's not hoarse.
So Mike, you tap dance. I'll go get Chris out of the war room over there.
I can tap dance.
All right.
We can do that. I'll run over some scores for him right now. We love to do that. Did our session expire?
No.
Okay. See, he sees things that I don't. So, but hey, we want to talk the Cheney Boardman game. Good one, goes to overtime, and that's what we're going to be talking about as soon as we get our gentleman in here. Lakeside falls to Cleveland Rhodes tonight, 34-14. Western Reserve, they get beaten by Columbiana by 21-19. And then it's Middle Ridge all over Conneaut, 37-24. Crestview, 34-7 over United. East Palestine, 3-0 on the season as they go to Bridgeport, get a big win, 28-21. Edison crushes Southern Local, 41-8. Poland, 3-0 on the season. As we stated, the big battle of 224 next week. Poland, a 50-6 winner over Field. Girard gets the better of Edgewood as they knock them out of the ranks of the unbeaten, 48-27. So we move along there. Beaver losing to Amani Christian, 41-3. And then it is Hoban in a great game against King, Michigan, 23-21. A field goal very late decides that game in favor of the Knights. And now you're going to be tall, maybe. No, right there. Other side there. We can lower it one way or the other. You might have to sit on it. Chris Sigler.
We're just going to do this.
Okay. Siggy's in the house.
I can't sit on that. I'm just going to stand up.
Okay.
Where's the headphones at?
All right.
There he is.
There you are. We're hooked
Can
up.
you hear me?
I can hear you.
Jeez. All
Hey,
right.
not one, not two, but 3 overtimes. What a ball game.
Insanity. Just insane. It. I can't describe to you. Can you hear me that one?
Yeah.
I can't describe to you. It was one of those things where Cheney came out of the gate very well. Drove the ball right down the field. Boardman stood tall on defense. Vince Butto, what a game tonight. Interception, takes it back, sets up the first drive of the night, and it's first of 5 touchdowns he had on the night. And it's one of those things that Cheney, they always have a history of fighting hard, but when things don't go their way, maybe they'll collapse a little bit. Tonight wasn't the case. Coach Antrim had them revved up in the second half, 14 unanswered, the tie at 21. Boardman comes back, and it's just each team just answered the call when they had to. It was just something to see.
I know people are going to second guess Coach Antrim on the 2-point conversion, but man, I'm all for it. I think he rolled the dice to play to win.
You get to that point to where you look your players in the eye, I think, and you say, what do we want to do, guys? Leave it up to them. They called the timeout.
Yeah.
My partner, his first game tonight, did a great job. Patrick Bryan did a great job first game. And I said, the tee's still on the field. I think they're going to kick it. And they trotted back out there, picked it up. And I said, they're going for 2. And I think fatigue starts setting in too. And it's just, you got to take your shot when you can. And Boardman, I think, does a great job in short yardage situations. 20 yards in, they can run their offense how they want to run their offense. They don't panic. And that's where I got him in the second half. They started falling behind the chains, and then he ran into a couple punts, and that's what set Cheney up for success. And, man, were they successful on offense when they changed things up. They got guys open in space. Tazell White, what a player. Michael, the quarterback. Thompson, the running back. They got these guys on space, and they're tough to bring down, and Boardman did a great job of hanging in there tonight.
Well, and this, I know as a Spartan fan, anybody out there that is a Spartans fan, this was huge.
Oh,
to get one on the win column and not be staring down 0-3 as you go to week 4.
But there's no doubt their schedule's a meat grinder too. They have Maple Heights next week, who's 3-0 right now. That it was such up and downs. My partner says to me one time when Cheney was having success down here in the goal line, he says, "Man, this place is quiet," because the Boardman people were riding high, the Boardman sideline was riding high, and all of a sudden Cheney's like, we're still here. And they just fought their way through. I need to rewind and go over the sequence at the end of the game. It was just an unbelievable sequence of tied up. Cheney gets the ball, drives down the field all the way to the Boardman 20 and fumbles. Boardman gets the ball, First play, snap goes past the quarterback inside the 10. And Coach Dota, the reaction of him on the sideline, he just beside himself, couldn't believe it. Chaney gets the ball back, can't do anything with it. Boardman gets the ball back with 20 seconds to go, completes 2 passes to get down near the 26-yard line. Next play, Butto has pressure, throws the ball backwards, and it goes out of bounds. And the reaction of everybody was just pure shock. And that's what sent us into overtime. It was just, you score, I'm going to score. You score, I'm going to score. You mess up, I'll go ahead and mess up too. And that's just basically what happened. And it set it up for just an unbelievable overtime and an unbelievable football game.
Yeah, and it's one of them ones, like, people will look back at this, when we get later in the season and be like, wow, if they could have only won that game.
Yep.
Or, wow, how big of a win did this become for this team?
Very true. That's exactly a good point for both squads. Coach Antrim, his team hung in there, fought back, took the lead, and just couldn't get that one stop when they needed it. And you look at Boardman, they got the stop when they needed it. They got the score when they needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And look what it did for them moving forward. Win number 1. What a way to your first win of the season.
Yeah.
In triple overtime on the road. It's just remarkable. And I always enjoy seeing the reaction of the kids. And just, I think that's the thing we miss now in sports. There's so much negativity and so much money flying around in professional and in college athletics. And you just see the pure excitement of these kids after a victory. You can't replicate it anymore.
No, I mean, you had absolute joy on and probably relief on Boardman's side. But then you look over at the Chaney kids who gave it everything they had, and it's just utter disappointment.
There's a lot of discipline on that Chaney team, too.
Yeah.
That's always one of the keys to the game when you have one of these teams, Chaney and East, and can they stay within themselves and no penalties? And really, they held their composure together. That's hats off to that coaching staff. And and that's a veteran group of kids, too. There's a lot of seniors with that group.
Oh, yeah.
And it shined through. And I said to my partner, I said, that handshake line going off the field, there was a lot of respect going through that line. You could tell those kids were just – there was no pushing, no shoving, no pouting. They were shaking each other's hands because they knew they just went through a battle that most teams would just love the opportunity to go through.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Chaney's schedule is a meat grinder.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little West Branch next week. Oh, by the way, here comes Canfield.
Yep.
Then Niles, and Niles, they lose a heartbreaker tonight in overtime. Then we're going to play Mooney. It doesn't get, university school. We don't know what's going on with Ursuline.
Right.
We don't know if there's going to be football the rest of the year or not. And then, of course, the city battle, Chaney East. So they have no room here.
No.
Like, they've got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
So what Coach Antrim, what he may have seen tonight may be a lesson that helps them win 2 weeks from now.
Oh, there's no
or
doubt.
even next week.
There's no doubt
So,
about it. Yeah.
And then I'll flip it for you for Boardman. Like you said, Maple Heights,
Oh, it's rough, too.
CVCA,
Yeah.
Mooney, Harding, Hallam, Fitch, Canfield.
Yeah.
Meat grinders.
And tonight really was one of those games, and you had said it. You really need a victory to propel you forward for a multitude of reasons.
Oh, yeah.
And the schedule is one of them for both teams. But I think in the loss, Coach Antrim can really take a lot from it. Like you said, he knows what he has with these players. They adjusted the offense in the second half to allow these players to get out in space.
Mhm.
They ran between the tackles a lot in the first half, which I was kind of surprised about. Then they wanted to stretch Boardman out. And that was a great job of adjusting in the second half for them.
And now it makes it hard to prepare for Chaney. Are they going to be inside? They're going to be outside. Because they can really, with the athletes that they have, this now opens up a lot of avenues for them. And you just want to get down the right one where the other team's not ready, because if they get on a roll.
I tell you what, they have the twin wide receivers that are they're 6'5". I've seen them play basketball.
Yeah.
They're good athletes. And I was impressed tonight. Them blocking and the other teammates blocking for these screen passes they would run to get their receivers out in space, Tazell White and Thompson, the running back. the blocking in front of them was unbelievable by the receivers. And I think that goes to show the unselfishness of that team now moving forward, that they get it. They understand that they have to do what they need to do to be successful as a whole for the team.
How much fun was it to call that game?
Well, fun and exhausting at the same time. I looked at my clock in the first half, and it was flying through. It was 20-8, and it was less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. I said, holy moly, this game might be over by 9. Well, they had more things to think about than we knew.
Little did you know overtime was in the cards.
It is, and it was exciting just to be there. I mean, everybody on the edge of their seat in overtime, that possession at the 20-yard. I love the college overtime rule. I love high school overtime rule. There's just that excitement of being able to score every possession.
We were wondering here, had it gone to a fourth possession, do they have to go for 2?
I don't know. And I wondered that on the way home. They must not, because I think he would have kicked the extra point had that been the case and tried it moving forward. I don't know the hurry to go for 2 if you're going to be made to go for 2 starting in that fourth overtime. Now, I think it makes sense to have to do that because I might have still been there right now. And at some point, the kids are just exhausted.
The audible call would still be on.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. There's just no doubt about it. And it's just one of the things I was happy for both communities. I mean, even the PA announcer said, guys, this was a great ball game we just saw here tonight. And I think every fan in the stands cheered after he said that.
And it's at Rand Stadium, one of the just great high school football stadiums.
I've been there twice, and I even said on the broadcast, if you've never been there, go. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And it's a great place to have a football game.
And what they brought that stadium back from. I mean, that stadium was ready to be torn down.
Yeah.
And they renovated it. They put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it most certainly is. And the people that work there are very friendly and helpful. And, hey, look, it helps when you have players play the way they did tonight to make that community excited and proud. There's no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you had a good one.
I did. And thanks for having me in here. It's been great. And week 3 already. Hard to believe.
Yeah. Well, week 1 for me.
Yeah.
I was a little late to the party.
Slack into the party. That's right. I appreciate it.
Teasing everybody. Everybody's like, welcome back. Where were you? Sorry. Yeah. I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here. So.
All good.
But
Appreciate
it's
it.
fun.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You coming back?
Is he coming back or is he quitting on me?
I don't know.
You coming back? He's eating pizza.
He's watching the Chiefs.
No, he was telling me to refresh the scoreboard.
All right. All right. I'm out.
All right. Well, thanks, Sig. We appreciate
5
it.
touchdowns tonight. Big dog.
See?
Big dog.
We're breaking nominations on the
We're
air.
getting some nominations on the air.
So there you go. Another great game. And I'm glad Chris Sigler was able to stop in here and talk with us. That was awesome. You can't beat it, Anthony. This was just a fun week of football to go to.
It really was. I mean, we had overtimes. We had big matchups, important matchups. As important as you can get with it being non-conference week, of course.
Yeah.
Now next week is when it really gets, championships start to get on the line a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Teams are definitely, next week they'll start, oh, boy, we lost one. How'd this team do? How, everything will start to cross and mix.
So what do you say we go through the scoreboard? You can see it on your screen there, too.
Yeah, we'll do that
And,
real quick, and then we're going to toss it to our partners over at WFMJ. How about Fitch? They head up to Erie, get a shutout, 28-0. Good win for the Falcons. 35-34, can't beat it. Triple overtime, Boardman over Cheney. Champion, they're on the win side now as they beat Camel 36-20.
Champions 2-1 on the year.
Yeah. And then you have Canfield 24-14 over Cardinal Mooney. Good win for the Cards of Canfield.
Yeah,
Tough one for the Cards.
Gotta be specific.
Cardinal Mooney. We'll work our way back here.
You want to go
Yeah,
back to the
we'll
start?
start. Yeah, I'll start with Crestview, and then we'll just
Okay. We got you.
Crestview 34-7 over United. Mineral Ridge 37-24. Fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Boy, can they offensively light it up. Western Reserve, they came back, but not enough. Columbiana walks away with that one their first win of the year.
It's kind of felt like a must win for Columbia
Yeah.
with the way the first 2 weeks went.
Yeah, good win for them. And then Lakeside falling to Cleveland Rhodes 34-14. East Palestine 3-0, 28-21 over Bridgeport. They made the trek down by the river. And then Edison all over Southern Local 41-8. Poland, no problem with Field, 50-6. Sets up their big matchup with Canfield next week. The Battle of 224. Edgewood falling to Girard 48-27. LeBray, this game got interesting in the second half. I thought it was, LeBray got up 2 scores early, but the Rockets did not quit. 22-13. Liberty gives up their first points of the season, but it's late in the fourth quarter as they beat Warren JFK 21-8 to remain perfect. And Hoban, great win over King, Michigan. A last-second field goal basically does that for them. And then Beaver falling to Amani Christian 41-3. McDonald, they're still perfect. They beat Grand Valley 56-28. Louisville, hey, they're 3-0. They beat Northwest 10-3. In overtime, Ravenna gets the best of Niles 27-21. Salem goes down to East Liverpool and delivers a knockout punch 56-20, the final in there. And that is the Quakers' first win of the year. Beaver Local falls to St. Clairsville 38-7. Springfield falling to Garrettsville Garfield, the GE men 40-21. South Range 42-7 over Barberton. Shenango blanks Mohawk 24-0. Toronto just absolutely lit up Toronto early, or Wellsville early, 49-17. Hubbard, they beat University School 37-14. High Valley shuts out Valley Christian 53-0. West Branch goes up to Struthers and wins 55-6. Geneva shuts out Normandy 63-0. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they're glad they're part of the YSM family.
Yeah, very glad. East beats Clearview 28-3. Southeast a winner 29-8 over Cuyahoga Falls. Jackson Milton pitches a shutout 47-0. Lakeview a winner over Jefferson. Latonia falls to Strasburg Franklin 47-14. Lisbon a winner 41-14. It is Marlington 38-20 over Howland. Brookfield 46-21 over Sharpsville. Kirtland 44-24 over Perry. I had trouble saying that all night, and I don't know why. Fairview beat Orange 63-28, and Matthews a winner over Newton Falls 28-17. That puts a wrap on tonight. We got games tomorrow?
I'm going to pop that up right now and see if we do. We have volleyball, and we do have one football game at St. John.
St. John's and Beechwood. So we have volleyball. We have lots of action here for you on the YSN network tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. Join us for that. This will put a wrap on the Joe Dickey scoreboard for week 3. Make sure you come back here next week. 7 o'clock, Anthony and I will be on. We will get you rolling with the audible call, and then we'll follow that up with the Joe Dickey scoreboard after that. But all in all, week 3, a good one, partner.
Absolutely, and it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back
for the rest of the season. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. And, hey, have a safe night, everybody. We'll see you back here. Tune over to WFMJ and join them for the Arby's Overtime Report with Dana and Brittany Bissell.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.